What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Beyond Click and Cliff. Welcome back to the new channel, new podcast channel. Hope you're enjoying what I've created for you. This is a podcast where you can just sit back and do whatever you want to do. Lay down, listen, do housework, whatever you have to do. Just have me on in the background. Maybe I'll make you laugh, make you smile, make you think about some things. I don't know. This is just a podcast of what's going on in my mind, in my brain. A lot goes on in my brain. But nonetheless, it's something, life experiences, life stories, life lessons, and everything. So, you know, I went to services this morning with my wife and my child, and this is not religion, you guys. Don't think that. Don't start clicking off yet. But they had a lesson about birds, and it got me to thinking about what I'm going to say on this podcast. Well, you know what? I'm a nature lover. I love nature, and if y'all ever went hiking in the woods, I can't no more. I miss it. I used to hunt and hike through the woods all my life. I went to nature trails and walked nature trails. I used to live by Roaring River. I don't know if y'all know where that is. It's down in Missouri, southwest Missouri, Cassville area. It's called Roaring River, and they had walkways, right? They nature trails. There was a 5 mile long one, and a 3 mile, and a 1 mile. And at the end, one of the trails was called Deer Leap, and it just came up to a rock, to a cliff, and you saw the river going into the hills. Very beautiful sight. But have y'all ever enjoyed nature that way? I used to love going cutting wood with my dad Saturday mornings. Usually around this time of year, September, October, we start cutting wood for the winter and getting it built up and stocked up for the winter. And used to love going out there with my dad. I'd be splitting wood while he's cutting down the trees and cutting and into sticks. It was my job to split. And of course, I didn't have a hydraulic splitter. I had the old fashioned gunslingers here, splitting wood. And we'd take breaks and we'd sit back, we'll sit on a log and listen to squirrels play in the leaves. Every once in a while, we'll see a deer scamper through the woods, and you just hear the birds chirping or getting ready to fly south for the winter. And just beautiful nature noises. You hear the wind brushing through the trees. It's just a beautiful sight, and I miss it. I really do miss it. I wish I could go back in time and just listen to it. But one day we were on Roaring River, and me and my daughter, I say she was 10, 11. And of course, this is, I want to say August, September, probably September. It was still warm, but it wasn't hot. Part of my dog, Bo, saying hi. But it was, I don't know, not warm, but not cold either. And we were trout fishing, and my daughter wanted to go walk a trail, so I figured we'll just go put the fishing poles up and go walk that 1 mile trail and have fun. Well, nature. We start walking through the trails, and we start seeing, not not copperheads, but water moccasins or cottonmouths. I call them down. We call them down there, and they were, you know, I never been so scared in my life. I hate snakes. I've always hated snakes, and boy, I tell you, we got in the middle of it. You had two ways. It was a mile, so you got half a mile out both ways, and this time, I didn't notice it, but my daughter goes, "Dad, you just stepped over a snake," and I looked down. I swear that thing was this big around, and you see it slithering down through the rocks, and I'm like, I looked at my daughter. I said, of course. You know, we didn't. What kind of shoes we had on? Flip flops. My daughter and I had, I don't know, I had Crocs on. I think because I was fishing. I wasn't worried about going hiking boots and hiking the trails because that wasn't the plan. I tell you what, my heart starts beating real heavy. Like, I mean, it just boom, 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 and I'm like, oh man. Of course, my safety concern was my daughter. I didn't want her to get bit. I care less. I mean, yeah, I would probably hate to get bit too, but I was more concerned about my daughter getting bit. So I picked her up. I said, I'm going to carry you out of here. And then after you see one snake, right? You look around and you see millions of them. Even though they were sticks, you see a stick. My land, there's another snake. No, it's just a stick. And I say, well, but I will say on the way back on through that trail, I did see 3 cottonmouths, and I'm like, I should have knew better. I should have knew better to wear what we did. But like I said, the plan was just to go trout fishing. That's it. We got through the trail. We went back to my dad. Well, my dad and one of my buddies was still there fishing. We walked back and I told my dad, I said, next time we come down here, make sure we got our, high top leather boots on. And if I don't, slap us on the back of the head. Dad goes, why? I said, well, in that little mile stretch of hiking, we saw 2 snakes. And he just shook his head like, well, you should do better. But it's fun, though. I mean, it's still fun. I still enjoy going. I said I don't live in the country per se, but I don't live in town, so I still get to see squirrels. We've got rabbits in our backyard, and so I'll sit in the backyard and watch the rabbits play, and squirrels gather their nuts. And I saw a couple of snakes in our backyard. I can't get away from them. There had to be snakes. As Mr. Indiana Jones, why there's got to be snakes. But we did that. We got through it, of course. And then, but there's one time, Ring River is such a beautiful place. I mean, it's just beautiful. I did get sidetracked telling you that snake story, but the podcast I wanted to talk to today is just nature. I love it when the leaves turn green to all these different colors. You got the browns, reds, oranges. When everything starts turning to fall and everything basically dies, I guess. But it's still pretty to see the change, and then we get ready for winter and be cold. But then after winter, spring comes and everything starts gaining their color back. You plant flowers, they bloom, and they're so pretty, and all these animals come out. Bees hovering around your flowers. You got the rabbits still bouncing and the squirrels still gathering their nuts. You see the deer playing around, and it's just a beautiful. I love nature. Always have. I always loved, like I said, going like cutting wood and all that stuff. And I'll tell you, those, anybody that knows my favorite time of season is the fall and spring. I don't like going out in the summertime where you walk out your front door, you're instant sweat and your glasses fog up because the humidity is so high and very uncomfortable. And then winter, you got to put on 10 million layers of clothing just to stay warm to get to the car. We've got to shovel a driveway. What fun is that? So you can get out and go to the grocery store, get whatever, or go to work. People got to go to work in this weather. It's horrible. I feel bad every time I drive down the highway during 110 degrees and people working on the roads. I just want to stop and give them all ice cream. Cool them off. They're not having fun. And same in wintertime, you got people out there working in the winter. You want to make sure that you build a fire for them because they're cold. So spring and fall, perfect. But other than that, nature's cool. I love, like I said, I love fishing. That's my other hobby. I love to sit there and just watch fish. And a lot of times, my pole's not even in the water. It's I'm looking around on the banks and see what the wildlife. I see fish jumping out of the water. You might get lucky and see a deer come down and drink water, or a fox running along the shoreline, or whatever it may be. I've seen a bear. That was interesting and scary at the same time. Um, but there's another story. Me and my friend used to go in the woods while our parents were cutting wood, and we'd bring BB guns. We think we're gonna go hunting, right? We're average hunters with a Red Ryder spring loaded BB gun. Like that's gonna all it's gonna do is bounce off the animal. But hey, we thought we were hunting. we He had a beagle. He goes, let's go rabbit hunting. So we okay, let's go. Did catch a rabbit. What we did was chase a freaking bear. The the beagle chased a bear, not a rabbit. So I don't know. That was an interesting. We saw what it was chasing, and we called the dog. The dog came back, and we kind of went the other way and let the bear keep running that other way. And needless to say, we went back by the trucks and stayed pretty close to our parents. That scared us. But it's all fun and games, guys, and I love the nature. I don't know. Have you? Like I said, answer me down in the comments. Do you guys like nature walks? Do y'all like to go hiking or walking these nature trails, or just walking down the road and seeing what you see? Do you guys like to ride bikes or whatever? I know where I used to live, there was a nature, well, not nature trail, but we had a bike trail, walk trail, jog trail kind of thing. And it was in our park, but our park was surrounded by woods, so it went in the woods and went around, and the city planted a lot of trees, so it was like a little, and it has a big old pond in the middle. You could fish out of if you were a kid. I think there was an age limit, but whatever. Did y'all? I mean, a lot of people rode their bikes around there, walked and stuff, and you still get to see the sights. You see the fish jumping out of the pond. You do see rabbits every once in a while, squirrels gathering their nuts. Um, y'all ever do it? Well, you always can put them down in the comments. Let me know your story, guys. I think this is going to be the end of this podcast. Like I said, guys, this podcast. I know there's some podcasts out there that's an hour long, 45 minutes long, 30 minutes long. I can't talk for 30 minutes. I like to tell you stories, and stories are 10, 15 minutes long. Um, but, you know, there's a whole bunch of stories I could tell you about nature, though. I remember when I was young, also, me and my friends skipped school for 10 days straight, okay? We went down to the lake, and we would have these cliffs that we would jump off. I don't know if y'all ever jumped off cliffs into water. I did that for 10 days straight. There was a curve that went to our school. I am not condoning this, guys, by chance. If you're young, don't do this. But we used to have a curve, and the road split off, went to the school. You follow the curve that took out of town to the lake, and we'd go a little bit over the speed limit, and we'd tell ourselves, if we make the curve or make the turn to the school, we'll go to school. If we can't, we'll just go straight to the lake. And like 10 days straight, we missed that turn off and went to the lake. Not condoning on skip school by no chance. If you're in school, go to school. Education is important. So we'd jump off the cliffs into water and enjoy nature. We sit there all day, swim, jumping off cliffs. We'd put our lunch money together, and there was a place down there where we used to go do this. It's called Shell Knob, but there was a taco restaurant there. And there's dollar tacos, and there was like 5 or 6 of us who went, and we all put our money together, and we get a plate full of tacos and water, and we would drink and eat tacos for lunch, and we'd go back down the lake and swim again. Fun. Just nature time. That's all it is. Yeah. So I don't know. If y'all like nature, give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this, please hit that like button down below. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you like nature. Yes, no, tell me a story or a short story or say, been there. And if you ain't subscribed, maybe consider subscribing, of course, please. Tell a friend. Um, but, guys, I want you to be good to one another. Be somebody's light and somebody's darkest cloud. A hello from you could brighten their day and make them happy. Um, do unto others that you want done to yourself. This world has some dark spots in it. Um, we all can change this. Me and you can change it. We could open the door for somebody, compliment someone, say, hey, you look good today. A little hello, something from you could brighten their day, make their day a whole lot better. Help a lady take her groceries to the car or something. Guys, that'd be it. Until the next one, I'll talk to you later. Bye.